Ipswich Buses, your local bus company serving your football team. Buses run every 10 minutes. Avoid the traffic. Don't get stuck in the delay. Get Ipswich Buses today. A single from only £1.20, a return from only £2. Find out more information at www.ipswichbuses.co.uk. Ipswich Buses, proud to partner with Talking Town. Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your Sunday Talking Town flagship podcast. That's right. It's been an enjoyable weekend so far, and hopefully we can continue the fun times. Enjoyable being back at Portman Road. Enjoyable seeing a win. Enjoyable seeing all my friends and family of the TT community. Didn't enjoy the Ipswich one-way system, though. Still not a fan of whoever designed that. But you know, what a great result. And hopefully this show that is here every week through hell or high water, through sickness and in health, with the aim to bring you not only the very best in ITFC content, but the most entertaining ITFC content. But with also the chance to have your say on your football club, giving you unfiltered access to a platform to truly air those opinions, whether you agree with them or not. This is a melting pot of opinions. In addition to listening and being an ITFC fans, except the lemons. They all get checked at the door and chucked out. We don't welcome lemons here. But listen, you can listen to us on all podcast platforms, wherever you get your audio. Before I get any further into the show, let me just say a huge thank you to the TT Fifth Down Ultras and our YouTube members. As always, if you do get value from everything we do, you know, which is an awful lot, let's be honest, please do consider supporting us through Ko-Fi or YouTube from $4.99 a month, which, you know, is like 32p a flipping show. You can't get magazine subscriptions these days for $4.99. Absolute craziness. You know, and then of course that means the away day guide, which is on the channel now, which for Wednesday's away day guide on the channel. Transfer special, Backinson on the channel as well. They all get thrown in on top, including the pre-game and the fans react show, which, you know, a huge shout out to Lloyd for the pre-game camera work and for Ben for half of the camera work on the post-game show. I think the post-game show was the real test because it was freezing cold, and I looked over from the iPad and poor Ben, his hands were literally like that, and I just felt so sorry for him because I forgot the tripod. But Ben, we, as always, we salute you, my friend. Right, who is in our very, very busy chat? We've got some YouTube members. Stephen Parry's in the room. Welcome in, Steve. Hope you're doing well. Kevin Gates, hope you're doing well. Obviously, got some breaking news to discuss as we come live. Tyree Simpson's being recalled from his loan at Swindon. Mike the Fisherman, laughable to say, let's loan out Simpson to the League One side. He should be playing for us. End of. Well, let's kick things off with that by bringing in a man who fouled a late fitness test yesterday. He is, of course, the red wine connoisseur. Perhaps there's too much of it. I don't know. Mr. Matt Phillips. You were bringing something, I hear.
Yeah. How you doing?
I'm doing much better than you are for the first time in a while. How are you? First,
yeah.
Not been too well. How are you?
Thanks. Yeah. Come on after the show Friday. So I was relegated to watching the game on the sofa. And to quote,
did you text your mate Brenner? I'm listening to you.
And to quote a Frankie Boyle gag, I was trusting every fart as much as I would an email from a Nigerian general.
Oh, good grief. I wondered where you were going with that. Frankie Boyle jokes. He wouldn't get past. He wouldn't get on the TV these days, would he, old Frankie Boyle?
He has his own show on BBC Two, New World Order.
Does he?
Yeah, it's very funny.
The BBC, the most woke platform there is.
yeah. Obviously, got a different commissioner on BBC Two.
Yeah,
but
so.
It did. I watched both shows yesterday. I have to say, I did text you to say I really like the roaming camera.
You did.
It was good. I thought it was good. I like that. It looked chilly over there.
It wasn't the post-game show for absolute definite. If the
liked
chills
it,
didn't get
'cause
you,
you like Sky Sports production, don't you? That's what you like. I quite like the nitty-gritty outside the stadium because that's exactly what you're bringing it. And I'd imagine people like Botswana Blue or Rob over in Australia or the guys who watch New Zealand probably quite like that because it feels like you're there outside the stadium.
yes, yeah, it's something that we could definitely explore in the future. You need a stand to do it because if the cold doesn't get you, it's the muscles when you're holding something in place that just, that's why I was starting to move it towards the end, showing Coxie with his burger, just so I could move my hands because it was really starting to get at me. Right. As we are here to break down yesterday's game, and the only way we know how at TT with banter, fun, and debate, every good contributor needs a partner. And these two, well, they're undefeated at stirring the pot. Order! Order! The best John Burko impersonation.
Where's your wig?
I haven't got one.
I had a cup of tea around his house once, John Burko. While he was leader of the Commons, he lived in the Houses of Parliament, so we did an FA event in his house. Yeah, fancy living there. Yeah, honestly, he lives in there. It's got like a flat. You get a flat in
brilliant. That is awesome. Nothing better than hearing John Burko just say order many times. He's got a different order. Like order.
It's good.
Order.
It's a great impression. That's your best impressions to date, I think.
Well, thank you very much. I'd say that on the chin. Right, on with the show. Breaking news as we go live. Let's discuss, as Clive says, Duncan Stanley Simpson recall. So, Tyree Simpson on fire at Swindon has been recalled by McKenna, Ashton, and the dashboard. What are we making of this? Somebody leaving, him coming into the lineup, going out on loan again. Rich, as you just come in, what do you make of this?
I was a bit surprised. He scored again yesterday, didn't he, against Bristol Rovers? They drew 1-1. So he's got 11 in 28 starts for Swindon. It is a real interesting one because Joe Pigott again yesterday.
The nowhere man.
He runs past me every time at the home games, Matt, because I sit just along from the away dugout. So he runs down to the away stand. I've seen him running up and down that line every single game, poor lad. And he doesn't get on. I wouldn't be surprised if he's moving on, to be honest.
Wow.
Because he what is he? Is he 27, Martin? Joe Pigott?
Yes, he is, yeah.
He needs to be playing football. Brought to the football club in the summer, obviously off the back of a really good season. Well, good 2 or 3 seasons at AFC, who we play on Tuesday night. And it's not worked out for him, probably for a number of reasons. When he came in, look, the system that Cook was playing, one up front, he did start, didn't he? And I think he played a couple of times, Matt, with Bond. At one, I think the Cheltenham away game, they played together. He played sort of a bit off of him.
That's right.
But he's struggled to get minutes because, look, I don't think anyone thought Macaulay Bond was going to go on the run that he went on.
No.
Even more so now, Bond, he's got 1 goal in, I think, 15 or 16 games, and Pigott's still not getting a look in. So if I was Joe Pigott, I think I've said on here before, I'll be on to my agent in January, get me a move. I want to go and play football.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah, and I've been saying the exact same thing, and I do feel sorry for him. Matt, is it a case of maybe, Pigott, Jackson moving on? I mean, Jackson yesterday came on the football field before.
Yeah.
Before Pigott,
so he's making a squad, but he's not getting game time. I find it really weird. And we've now seen this under Cook and now McKenna. So I don't know. I think it's a strange one. But look, Tyrese is doing great. Me and Rich kind of wrote him off a little bit, saying he'd probably never make the grade at Town. So now he's coming back on the back of a good line spell at Swindon. But you only have to see the difference between League 2 and League 1 and how much on fire Aaron Drinnan is. And I've said before, one of the guys down at our boxing gyms on it, and they absolutely love him. And he's on fire there. And he said it, so it just shows you the difference. At Ipswich, he was like nothing, was he?
And you off the back of that, Matt, look at the players that we've sold to Colchester. I know that's your goat today, but look how they've struggled in League 2.
Exactly.
So
yeah, no, it's true. And Kenlock scoring a goal on his debut. So I mean, that, again, highlights the quality.
Unbelievable.
I've always liked Kenlock, but
Rex Mayaka that did, by the way.
Then again, yesterday, is it a case of maybe he wants to bring Simpson back into the fold just as a different, just as a golfer has different clubs in the bag for different types of shots? Yesterday, with a 1-0 lead, 2-1, so a 1-goal advantage, I felt we needed somebody up the top that was going to be a presence, hold the ball up, make it stick to him, and bully centre halves. Maybe he feels Simpson can do that sort of role towards the last 20, 30 minutes. Then you got Norwood.
When Norwood came on yesterday, and he
played left.
He was doing more defensive work than he was going forward. There were several times he was back in the sort of left back position, Martin, heading the ball away. With the system they played yesterday, they only played one striker, didn't they? Obviously, Norwood was on the bench, but then we had 3 strikers on the bench in a home game, and I don't think we've had that for a long time, have we?
Yeah, it was
on a home game. And Piggott's that seems like the odd man out. Didn't get on the bench. I know Jackson only come on for 2 or 3 minutes, but Joe Piggott, Simpson. Look, it's an interesting one. Kieran McKenna, he knows about him. I don't know. Will he be involved? Or will it be a case of looking to loan him out to another? I know the Fisherman said, why would we loan him out to another League One club? But he might want to see how he gets on in this division.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give him another 20 games and see how he gets on there. I know the Swindon fans are gutted because obviously he's done very well there. So he's our player at the end of the day. So we can sort of look at the pathway. It's like Kieran did say, I think Matt in his presser on Friday about the pathway and these players. And it is all we spoke before on this show about it's the right fit when someone goes out on loan, because you look at Dobber at Colchester. Has he really done anything there? You did say that he shouldn't have gone there. So it might be a case of he might go to a lower League One team to see how he gets on. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something
will need to change though, because you've got Piggott, Norwood, Jackson, Bonne and Simpson now as options. That's for a 1 up front, even for a 2 up front system, that's a little bit too much. There's still the question mark. I know fans don't want to discuss it or hear it. We haven't been told officially that, or have we, or have I missed it? If I had a bang on the head and missed it, that Norwood's been removed from the transfer list.
No.
So as far as we know,
it's interesting. I was listening this morning when I was watching the car to the post-game show on Suffolk yesterday. Mick Mills said Norwood basically he's got his head right. He's got off the social media. He's got his head down, and he said he needs to be they need to get him for the next 3 months. Just keep him on that pathway of playing football, But what happens at the end of the season with James Norwood, no one knows yet. I don't think they'll be giving him a contract offer anytime soon. And then Mick Mills did say if he was an Oxford or somebody, Matt, he'd be coming in for Norwood.
Yeah. It does feel like someone's going to be leaving, doesn't it? That's what it feels like to me. And Piggott's always, when he signed it, always felt a little, to me anyway, I don't know if anyone else agreed, always felt like a bit Sam Parkin-esque to me. Can he
but Mike, why would that fuck up our chances of the playoffs? Because they're not going to loan out Simpson. Mike, you need to listen sometimes. You have such a tunnel vision. Listen to what we're saying. We're not saying he's definitely going out on loan. We're not, are we?
Is this in a fish this morning, are we, Richard? I like that. Okay.
He'd go to, like you said, go to a club
lower down.
Wimbledon, for example. Yeah,
someone like that.
I read this morning, Carl Stockton. Who's he play for? Morecambe, interested in Preston, and a host of championship clubs are interested in Carl Stockton. Okay. I'm literally taking one striker and another striker and sort of making the puzzle work. But somebody like a Morecambe who does lose a striker or wants an option down the bottom half of the table,
they wouldn't want to be selling Stockton because he's their main chance of staying up in this league.
Money talks and bullshit walks, as they say, and money does talk. So if Preston come in with a
Mike, we're not saying you're allowed an opinion. Stop being such a diva.
Right. Few comments. Lloyd, the legend that is Lloyd. Lloyd, how are you feeling today? I mean, I hear that the Green Bay Packers choked again. Sorry. They did. Thanks to a Robbie Gold field goal, who's a Bears legend. Good old Robbie Gold. Tyree Simpson got recorded. My father-in-law is gutted. Stephen Parry might just be to have a look at him. Craig Smith, better options ahead of him. Rob Grimsby. We missed the Luca yesterday. Yes, congratulations to Mr. Sonny or Shawnee Luca. Well, we'll get into that maybe, but
really, Selena got an assist. Chaplin got a goal.
Congratulations. All the same. Congratulations, Sonny. All right. You had a child, I understand. So congratulations. We did miss you.
Mike, I'm not shouting you down. I'm just doing what you do. You shout everybody down.
Mike the Fisherman. So we learned him up. I've already read that one. Danny Allen. Shame for Piggott. I'll still take over Simpson and Jackson. I'd play him against AFC on Tuesday, give him a chance as Bond's not scoring, and Stephen Parry, Premier League clubs do it every year, pull them
Really
back
good.
and move them on elsewhere.
That's a really good point. I mean, he is in, like, as Rich said, he scores yesterday. He's got 11, 12 goals or whatever it is in the loan. Swindon having a great season. He's on a hot streak, and you have to say Bond is not on a hot streak. Was it one in 17
Is he going to jump ahead of 4 players, Matt?
I don't think he'll jump ahead of them, but I think he will certainly be an option potentially for the reasons everyone's just been saying in terms of holding the ball up off the bench. I don't think, but like I say, he's a form striker. You have to say none of our strikers are particularly.
Rich P. Instead of Rich M, it's Rich P. Norwood is playing so much better under this system. It's clearly buying into McKenna's training and what he wants him to do. Piggott is not that versatile. Roy said, did the 49ers win? Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Carl Stockton would walk the road, says Colin. Need to play for a big club, Rich. Mike D. Like the formation yesterday.
We're not a big club at the minute, Colin. Just check yourself, Colin. We're not a big club at the minute.
Big clubs always stay big clubs. We're huge. Huge, Ian.
I like Hoxie's little comment there.
League One's Lukaku.
Okay.
Talking of formations, obviously McKenna, brave selection. Didn't get either of your thoughts because one was both of you were MIA yesterday for the pre-game show. So what did you make of it? Obviously a bit removed. £3 super sticker from David. Good old David, who had some good points this week in the prediction league. Big up, Dave. Love ya. Simpson only stays if 2 strikers from Piggy, Norris and KJ leave the window. Understand few lower League One clubs have made loan offers. ITK King. I tell you what, Jackson yesterday with Accrington, you've got to be sort of, saying hello to John Coleman and just sort of having a play in, yeah? If I was Caden, I would have said, John, please come and get me. Please. I don't belong to sitting on the bench when you've got... He would fit nicely into Accrington Stanley.
Not the way they play, because, look, big shout-out to Colby Bishop. I know everyone's going to moan about the shithouses that they were yesterday, but he, for me, is a lone striker, and he showed yesterday, for me, Matt, in my opinion, how you should play as a lone striker away from home. I thought he done really well. He held the ball up. I think I wouldn't be surprised if he moves on to a higher League One team in the summer. I think he's a good player.
He was on your wish list, wasn't he, in the summer?
Yeah, I like Colby Bishop. And Accrington Stanley, I see Callie's comments. Now, not everyone likes Andy Holt. Not everyone likes John Coleman. But like I said on Friday's show, you have to respect what they've done as a football club. Listen, yesterday in that game, I know we ended up winning 2-1. If it wasn't for a fantastic save from Christian Walton, we would probably be sitting here today on the back of a defeat. It shows how small margins in football there are, because 55 seconds later, from the throw-in, we've counter-attacked, we've scored a great goal. But it was a great save by Walton that ultimately, for me, wins us the 3 points. So Accrington do what they have, the tools that they have, they use them to the best of their advantage. And I know it's not everyone's cup of tea, and I know that, but there is more than one way to win a football match, and they're not pretty. And I wouldn't want to watch them, Matt, every single week. But they have, in amongst the big lads, they've got some good footballers down there. And Coleman, you cannot knock what him and Andy Holt have done as a football club. You might not like him. You might not like him as a person. He's quite vocal on social media. We'll probably get to that. With his criticism of Morsey last night. And for me, if you come out and call someone a shithouse, a professional footballer, and you get some comeback from fans, you really you reap what you sow in that respect. But as a football club and as a chairman, for what he's done for the football club, the community as well, because we all see, I think, before Christmas, Matt, when they gave away all them shirts to the young schools around Accrington, fantastic. So
you got to do that, because no one's going to actually want to actively off their own back support Accrington Stanley, are they? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Bishop was on the dashboard.
Apparently he was, says Kelly.
Well, apparently, I'm renaming it now. I'm not calling it the dashboard. It's the ashboard.
The ashboard. I like that.
Nice.
We like that. We
Nice.
use that. Trademark. George, get some merch. Callie, fuck that, Rich. Andy and Accrington a tin pot. Taking up a place in the EFL. Mike D. Stanley do what they can to make them hard to beat. Coleman done an excellent job.
Exactly.
And, Rob Holmes, they beat Rotherham and drew with Sunderland recently. Well, where do you want to start?
I know people call them tin pot. I expect some of it's tongue in cheek, but you have to give them every credit. That is a team that's had success. And we've met them halfway. As they're going up, we've gone down. And we've met them halfway. That is not their fault. That's our fault, actually. And as Rich rightly says, what do you expect them to do? Turn up playing Guardiola tiki-taka? They're,
Well,
they are fighting.
They had to go though, Matt. They didn't come and sit. They didn't come and park the bus yesterday. They come and had to go and tried to win the game, which is credit to them.
They were dangerous around that second ball on the edge of the box. Is what they scored from, wasn't it? But I give them every credit. I've said Friday night show. I like those kind of stories and find them more interesting than the top of the Premier League for me.
Yeah, they're interesting. I just don't want to play them. Oh, this just shows for me why we need to get out of this division.
They're not there to entertain us, though, are they? They're there to get points.
Oh, they're a club that know they really. I think a little bit of what Callie says. I think they know that they're there, but their budget and the size of the club maybe dictates that they shouldn't be. So their sole aim is just to be there and stay there and get as far as you can there. They're happy.
And if it means going down and shithousing, I quite like that. Actually, I quite like it when people play the game like that. Ipswich need to toughen up a little bit.
What I would say is the FA needs to do something about these whole players going down for a water break. It's the middle of January. 5 degrees.
In the first half, Martin, they had a free kick.
It's a timeout.
Two of them came over. They were talking to the manager. The referee's ready to start the game. Yeah. Start the game without them. If they want to have a chat to the manager and fucking have a drink of water,
well, if you leave the field of play, you should be stood on the sidelines waiting to be told to come on.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with. Yeah, the actual going down in the gamesmanship doesn't bother me particularly.
No, but it's when they go down, have no treatment, just so 8 players can go over for a drink in the middle of fucking January. It's like you should have been hot. What are you doing? And the FA, unless they get tight on that, so that's up and down every division that happens, and it is like an NFL coach's timeout. Either bring timeouts in or get tight on it. That's what I really hate about it.
Come off the back of the COVID when they had that water break after 20 minutes or something. Do you remember? 22 minutes.
With no fans. When you could do that. When now you got fans in the ground. So we want to start then. Your show, Andy Holt selection. Where do you want to start? Which one do you want to take first?
One of Andy Holt's comments and about the Morsey incident.
Kick us off then, Mr. Moss. How did you see Holt's comments about Sam Morsey?
For me, I might get a lot of stick here. I thought Morsey was very lucky to get away with it. And if that was in the Premier League, they'd be using VAR, and that would have been a red card. No. You only had to see, I think it was Mark Halsey was in on that chat last night on Andy Holt's timeline. And he said, there might be retrospective action there, Matt. He's giving him a little jab. The referee's nobody's seen it because the Nation's taking the throw in. He's getting away from him. And I know, look, the punch is if you're big into your boxing, if that was a jab and the fighter went down, you would be laughed at.
Yeah.
But I still think he's giving him a little right-hander.
No.
Oh, no, that's just my take on it. Because if it was the other way round, we would all be on here saying, I think who was the guy who went down? Was it Hamilton? It was Hamilton, the guy who scored. We would all be saying that it should have been a red card. Sometimes we have to take the blue tinted glasses off and look at it on a level playing field.
Football fans, Rich, because what we're going to say about Morsey being a shithouse in a second,
you'd hate. He's definitely off. If I was reffing,
Never in a million years.
If I was reffing the game and I see that with my own eyes, he's struck an opponent. He has.
I wonder you lose control of games.
Well, but listen, he struck an opponent, and it's a red card. He's raised his hands to him.
He's not. If we're going on actual raising hands, the first player to raise the hand is the Accrington Stanley player. The Stanley player has put his hand out to know where Morsey is. Standard defending 101. Morsey in his movement has then gone to slap the hand away.
There you go, Mind the fisherman.
You're wrong.
He'll be off.
You're absolutely wrong.
Nathan Cutts, defo red card.
It's incidental contact. It's incidental. It's the game of football. You will have incidental contact. That is never a red card. As long as
in today's football. It might not be back in the 90s and the 80s when football was played by men. It was played by men because some of the
sending people off for raised hands, as Mike D says in the chat there, they're both going to walk because they're both raising hands. And VAR will show you that. The first person to have his hand in the air and up is
90% of the chat here, Martin's agreeing with what I'm saying. So you're obviously telling me that I'm wrong.
Well, you could find out soon because the bad news for Morsey, I think this is still the same rule.
It's retrospective action.
It's retrospective action, but you can't have retrospective action if the referee give him a yellow.
No,
the offence has already been managed.
The ref didn't see it because they were looking the other way in the fourth official. Where the Nation's throwing the ball down there and they're just over it.
I don't agree with the fact that he might have been off with VAR because VAR will give you multiple angles. We're only all going on the one angle, unless you had a really good view of it in your stand or whatever, Martin. I don't know.
But I was looking right at it.
There's a case to be answered for. case to be answered for. He wasn't given a booking, so the FA could do him retrospectively. But if they decide not. But you would have multiple camera angles on VAR, not just the one we had.
Andy Holt's comments, though, for an EFL chairman, he should not really be saying that sort of stuff. Well, I'm not saying he's not wrong, because Morsey is a bit of a shithouse. But
he's our shithouse.
Like, exactly. Well, we need to be a little bit more nasty. We've been too nice. We have been too nice.
Look, we've had Andy on the show, haven't we, mine? He was top quality and gave us an hour free of his time. Fantastic.
Love Andy.
The FA could easily pull that up because they would treat that as an on-the-record statement as they would as if you were doing a radio interview or a TV interview. So
that was only a yellow because he's only pulled him back by the shirt, Gary. The Saka one in the Euro final.
Well, I think
it was on the halfway line.
Yeah, well, this is on the halfway line. But I mean, yesterday we could get into if you come about red cards. There was an incident with the last man of Accrington Stanley. You could get into that conversation.
Well, that was
for me. Doesn't matter. Morsey's through. He's away. Doesn't matter where you are.
Watch John Coleman's interview, Matt, on the Accrington Stand. I watched it, and the air had gone out of the ball. They were saying,
yes, yeah, because the ball changed over. Yeah,
but he's absolutely like he said. I think it was Nottingham, wasn't it? The guy who got the yellow.
Michael Nottingham. He's a good player.
He should have picked the ball up and said to the ref, "Look, the ball's there. You go." But he has
Morsey is away. If you think Morsey's
in the centre circle.
If you
no chance.
Well, actually, the rule of the game suggests if you're the last man anywhere on the pitch, if you're the last man, you're the last man. There was nobody else around, so it wasn't like he was last man on the halfway line, but we had Mo Farah, Olympic athlete, ready to race back. He was last man and threw on goal.
Well, you have to assume that if they didn't see the Morsey incident, that you're talking about for the red card of Hamilton, you would imagine all four officials saw this incident and no one decided it should be a red side.
Well, you can't say fourth official because they're just there to make up the numbers. They don't actually have any say in anything.
All four officials. You referee, the two linos and the fourth.
I have never seen a fourth official stop a game to tell a referee he's been wrong and he should have done this, that, or the other.
Now, because I've got the earpiece. They don't need to stop the game.
Never seen it. Never seen it. Never seen even a conversation, Rich, about what have you seen, what have you heard. Mm-hmm. But if you do think Morsey was a red card, hit the like button. And if you don't think it's a red card, still hit the like button. Just hit the like button, basically. If you support Ipswich Town, if you're a Norwich fan, don't press the like button. Simple as that. Right. I'm going to drop the link in a second. I don't want to know if it was a red card or not because that could get into the weeds of the matter. I want to know about how you felt Morsey played. I'll get your thoughts first. For me, one of the man of the matches, really led the troops well, and at 1-0 down, and you wouldn't have noticed it unless you were watching him particularly, but he went around his team, he went around his squad, and he cheered them up, he picked them up, and he led from the front as a captain. I was really impressed with him. How do you see it?
Took the quick free kick for Chaplin to score?
Yeah, for once, we're alert. That's like, yes.
Yeah, I was waiting for the referee to sort of say I'm still talking to someone and bring it back. So I was surprised when it was allowed. But
did anyone see the kid run on the pitch?
No, I didn't see this on the TV.
Right. So Chaplin scores, and then suddenly this little kid runs on from the cobble stand, high fives the Don, and then a few players get round him. Then he runs back off the pitch, and he's gone.
Was he hiding? See, this is the thing. They're on about this now. This has been happening quite a lot with kids running on the pitch. The kid at Liverpool, I don't know if you see that, Matt, got the ball and then run back in. Now, I think Leeds have said if anyone runs on the pitch now like a kid wanting a shirt, his dad will get thrown out as well. So
lifetime
I expect Town, if they know who this was who run on and they know their dad, they'll get lobbed out. You can't do it. I don't know if you're 10 years... You can't, Martin. You've seen it. No, you can't.
It was a nice.
It's like me running on the pitch. It's like me running on the pitch and high-fiving. What would happen to me?
I'm surprised you've not done that, actually.
No. You're carried away.
Daniel Hill said, yes, he looked about 12 or 13. I thought I would have said 8 or 9, Dan. There's a YouTube video from the front of the cobble stand where you can see him clearly.
This was the Chaplin goal, was it?
Yes, the Chaplin goal. I'll try and find that video for tomorrow night's show. But for me, it was a lovely... back in the day moment. It was great. It was what you want for a League One side. It's where the FA needs to and the EFL needs to distinguish between
people running on the pitch then, Martin, yeah?
Top flight football and League One. You need completely different situations. Like this for me, this is an 8-year-old kid who is in love with his football club.
He's 8.
Well, like for me, it looked like 8, but I was up high in the cobble stand, greatest standing is football. Either way, I want that passion from a young fan for a third-tier football team. That, for me, is what you want.
My kids are showing passion when we score. I don't say, there you go and run on the pitch and high-five someone and then come back. You
If it's
can't
up to
do
me, you
that.
wouldn't have. If it's up to me, you wouldn't have 8-year-olds in the ground. Too young. It's not a day out at the zoo. It's important business. This.
For those that have seen Afterlife 3, there's a scene in it at the pub where Andy is dropping off his dad's ashes. This man here is definitely the pub landlord. Am I wrong? Am I right, Rich?
I've not seen it yet, so I don't know.
Is that when he throws it and he says, "I hope a bit of it, his cock went in your mouth, you."
Yep.
Beep.
Yep. Honestly, you can't do that here. That's vandalism. I thought.
Hang on. What did your missus say when you were watching it, Martin?
She said she thinks this is a documentary on me. She reckons I'm Andy. I'm Andy in it. That's what she thinks.
If anyone's not watched Afterlife, you have to watch it because it's quite a dark. We had a little discussion, didn't we, in the week when Martin was saying it's not a comedy. It's not funny.
It's not a comedy.
It's quite dark, but with some very funny moments and the use of the C word rather a lot, which I like. So does Matt now.
But apparently I use it quite
everybody in the comments, but I'm only joking. Don't keep having a go at me in the comments. I'm only joking.
But let me know if you think that is the pub landlord. But if you ever try to get me on the phone, you'll understand why my wife thinks I'm Andy. Because
you can't get you
fuck off. Just fuck off. Stephen, how you doing? What did you make of yesterday?
Hi, Steve. Bye.
I enjoyed it. I really did. It was a nice change of formation. I think that suited us. I'll be honest. I think it did. Them
Talk
two
me through that, Steve, because you had Chaplin, Selena, and Bond as the front three, triangle.
I actually thought originally it was going to be Chaplin up front with Bond, but it wasn't. It was more like it was 2 number 10s inside, and I think that was so much fluid because they could move back, they could move forward. Bond could drop deep, and it just seemed, and the fullbacks could get forward, and because they were inside, they couldn't tuck in. So it just seemed to give us so much freedom against that sort of formation. I liked it. I really did.
I think if you watched our show on Friday, I think I did actually say Chaplin and Selena could play for either Norwood or Bond. So
I did.
Interesting seeing what they do on Tuesday night. Will he keep the same lineup or make some changes?
I think he'll change, but it was like there was a lot of pluses. I think the first 20 minutes we could write that off because I think everything had been built up with a certain way of playing, a certain formation, a certain selection, and then we lose one right at the start of the game, and then a player who's not played since September comes in and has to do his job. It's going to take a bit of time to adjust. You have to take that into account. For the start being a bit sluggish, it's going to take a bit of time to adjust when a guy's coming in who wasn't expected to start. And everything has to
I'm saying that, Stephen. The game could have been over after 20 minutes if that one goes in and it's 2-0.
Well, we said
You've got to come out the blocks quicker. You have to come out the blocks quicker.
I agree. But when something like that happens, it can knock you back a bit, especially when you're with a certain 11. But that's what we discussed as well. At the end of the day, that's why you pay big money for a good goalkeeper, because he'll win you points. And he won us points. That's 3 points we've got from Christian Walton, first game. And that's the reason why we pay it. And that's the reason why we should have paid it. No matter what it is, because he wins your points. We said not so long back, goalkeeper, a good striker, we'll win your games to get your points, no matter what. The rest of the players can be just incidental players, as long as you've got those two. But about Morsey, I thought he was outstanding. Even when Backinson come on right at the end, first thing he did was go and start talking to him, guiding him through the game. And I thought that showed leadership. Young lad, didn't even expect to get on the field. He came on the field, first thing, captain in his ear, telling him what he wants him to do. And I thought he was excellent. What I saw of him, I know he was only on for 15 minutes, but he had some good passing. He was solid. I like that back.
He wasn't even on the bench to begin with, was he?
No. What you wouldn't have seen on iFollow, Matt, is the discussion between McKenna and Backinson. It was a lengthy one before Backinson came on as well. It was really detailing, obviously, having just arrived, what he wanted him to do, how he wanted to approach it, lots of pointing. And I've never seen that from a manager at Portman Road, where they've gone into as much detail or appeared to them on the sideline as McKenna did there. Do you feel the Accrington Stanley, I know Richard's about the save, do you feel the first goal in that subsequent save was against the run of play? Because I felt, actually, we started really well.
Yeah, it was
really well.
It was a bit against run of the play, wasn't it? But they were dangerous around that box, weren't they? They were looking for that loose ball. And I don't know what you think, Steve. I felt like Hamilton hit that with a bit of hit and hope.
It was a hit and hope.
The players and in.
It was a hit and hope because they tried it 2 or 3 times and the others didn't go in. You know, it was one of those that it could have gone to the other side of the post. So the keeper.
You don't shoot. You don't buy a ticket for the raffle.
No,
you
you
want
don't.
to score.
Yeah, great.
Absolutely.
But they didn't really cut us up. You know, it was like a long ball in the box and try and create a shot. You know, there was no like real cutting. I think there was probably 1 or 2 moments where they did really carve us over with some good passes.
Yeah,
that was about it. You know, but we had several attempts. You know, we side them through most of the time.
I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you. I think both goalkeepers yesterday didn't really have that much to do. I think Walton probably had more saves than their goalkeeper.
No, the final. I'm not saying the final shot might have been. You know, like obviously the final shot from Burns. He had 2 that was sky high because he decided not to put his laces through it and try and place it. You know, do what you've been doing all season. Just put your laces behind it. You know what I mean? But you know, we had chances. You know, Selena had one. Bon had a header. It was a weak one, I know. But we got in there. It was just the final shot or the final header that let us down. But we were cutting them open. We had much more chances than they did. Good chances.
I didn't think we cut them open. I don't think we cut them open, Stephen. I honestly don't think we cut them open. You're
looking at it from attempts on goal. I'm not looking at it from attempts on goal. Getting into a position, whether it's just KVY on the left-hand side and just not getting the ball into the box, it's still cutting them open.
Is it? You might not cut them open when you cut through them and you have a chance
to go. All right, Stephen. I appreciate you coming on. I think Rich will go to that point, but no, it's always good. I mean, go on, Rich, finish that point because is it about cutting them open? How do you
cut them open? Well, I'd say when you cut them open, is it the ball through that Selena played? That cut right through the middle of their defence and Burns slots it in 1-1. That's cutting through. That's cutting them open for me.
Yeah, their keeper did make a couple of good saves though.
Good save from Carroll, didn't he, with the shot Carroll.
Shot that.
I thought Tom Carroll grew into the game. I don't know what.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of people say he was a little bit lightweight in the incident that led to the shot that hit the crossbar. There was sort of a 50-50 ball there, and he sort of went sort of half-hearted into it. But I thought for someone who probably he's not in the right mindset, he's probably expecting to be a sub, and he's like warming up.
Yeah.
And he's told that he's got to play.
Yeah.
I thought. As the game went on, I thought he started to show that. Look, he's played in the Premier League. He's played at a good level. He's a good footballer, obviously, but he's not really had a run of games where he could say, I've had 10, 12 games to show my best.
And he got pulled off in the replay at Barrow.
I thought it was really poor. Matt, I want to talk to you about, before I bring in the fisherman, I want to talk to you about Selena because shout out Maxi. Maxi he's not letting it go. And I keep saying, Maxi, let it go, but he's not.
What's this?
You didn't want to keep Selena. You brought up that conversation. You said about sending him back to the mustard. Well, yesterday he was outstanding. Talk to me about Selena now. How are you feeling? What do you think?
Brilliant to see. Fantastic. But it's a bit like saying you went to a restaurant and the chef cooked you a really good meal. That's what you expect from Selena. He's just come out of playing against PSG last season in the French top division in League One. And I think when McKenna did arrive, he said, we have to find a position for Selena where he's going to make the most impact. And we know McKenna's watched all the games from this season back. And you have to say, Selena has not made the impact you would have thought he would have done in League One. But that pass yesterday, brilliant. I am a Selena fan, everybody. But how would you feel if that was your money you were paying to keep him here every week, whatever it is going to be, 10 to 15 grand? I would imagine we picked up all of his wages from France because no money in French football. So we expect more, but that was great. But, hopefully he can build on that. If he can keep building on that, fantastic. But I do feel like he was the X factor to get us top 2. And I don't think he's performed to the level he should have done. But there is other circumstances to that. He came with a bit of an illness. There's been some injuries and all that kind of thing. But that's the kind of thing I would expect Selena to be doing in League One. Am I wrong?
Rich?
I do think he's probably not shown his best, but I do, like you say, Matt, there is underlying circumstances there.
There is, yeah.
He'd play, I said before, if he's fit, he plays every week, in my opinion.
He does that every week. Brilliant. Fantastic.
Oh, yeah. But it's not just a one person, it's a team game. And not only him, a lot of players have underperformed. And that is why
there are players.
That is why we're sitting where we are in the division. I've said it before. But then if you look at him against Chaplin, I think Chaplin's got 8 goals now. So Chaplin's probably outshone Selena, hasn't he?
Yeah, and he's our player.
Yeah. And I think Chaplin needs to. I think he's another one. He needs a consistent run of games. He showed it before when he played under Cook. I think he got 5 or 6 goals in about 10, 11 games. And he's busy, isn't he, Chaplin? He's always there. Yeah. He's always looking to create something. And he's done it in the Championship. And
yeah,
I personally liked both of them playing yesterday. And
me too. I thought it worked really well. But you just have. I mean, look, Ashton and O'Leary and the American ownership probably have this conversation all the time. Here we've got a player in a loan from the French league, 15k wages. If we wanted to buy him 3 to 4 mil, yet we were before kickoff yesterday, we're below Accrington.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just looking at it from a business point of view. You know, if he was our player, fair enough, but he's not. He is.
Would you sign him in the summer? Because I would. If you could, I'd go all out to sign him. I really would.
Yeah. Obviously, I would. Yeah, absolutely. But he's got to bring the impact. You know, there's no point not doing it. That's what you're paying for.
You are more dangerous with Selena on the pitch. So, like, he's the only player that really looks to shoot from outside the 18-yard box. And when he does, it's normally always on target. Yeah, and you're forced to save from the goalkeeper.
I like that position he was in yesterday, Martin, because he can turn and he can get the ball and he can get his head up.
Impact.
He's got his head up and he's threaded. Look, it's a great pass through the eye of a needle.
Really good.
When he's out on that wing sometimes, I think he's got his head down, he's taking players on, where he's got more of the pitch when he's playing more inside, if you know what I mean.
I think with McKenna, you've got one of the best coaches you could have had to deal with a player like Selena, because for me, Selena's issue is he can get lazy sometimes. He can believe in his own head when things have gone right in a game that he is a great player.
It gets too easy for him, I think, Martin, and he gets a bit lazy.
Yeah. And I think McKenna, having worked with players at a top level in Man United and dealt with players of really good caliber that are also guilty of the same traits, I think it's a really good coach to sit him down and talk him through and get that concentration better. Because when Selena makes 2 or 3 good moves or passes or shots, the next pass is always a sloppy one. Because in his head, he thinks he's playing well, and it's just an easy little turn around the corner, and it goes awry. But we started the game with a 4-2-3-1, and I messaged the fisherman because we know it's his favourite formation, and he said after 7 minutes, going well, innit? 7 minutes, Mike. Can't achieve fuck all in 7 minutes.
What happened? We conceded a sloppy goal. I'm not having it. I'm not having it that people saying that was well hit and all that. Walton was far too over to his right-hand side. He shouldn't have been more in the middle. And I think if it had been more in the middle, set better, he'd have got that. But I can't then turn around and say Walton didn't have a great game, because he did. You know, that reaction save was, if that had been De Gea or Edmondson or Allison, everybody would have been praising it. So, do you know what I mean? The Walton, what the hell? Can't read that. All right.
I love you, Mike. You don't just say any goalkeeper. You go for the very best in the world, you know.
Well, absolutely. No, but in all fairness, you know, if you think of some of the players that have done great things in League One, if that had been Messi or Ronaldo, everybody would have put 20 million on his price tag, you know. The reality is, Walton had a really good game yesterday, apart from that goal. That was his own error, I think. And look, the end of the day is, that's 2 now where I felt that his positioning hasn't been great.
He's right in the corner.
No, Richard. If you're a goalkeeper, you have the centre spot to centre yourself. Yeah, you have the penalty area, penalty spot. That is your centre line. Yeah, every goalkeeper will tell you that. And he was far too over to his right hand side.
Yeah, I've heard people say they were sitting behind it. They were sitting behind it, and you're sitting there.
You can see it. I've watched it. You know better. Okay, well, it's just my opinion and basically what I've seen on YouTube and on the many clips that I've watched. Okay, in my opinion, he was far too over right. Okay, he was at least a foot or 2 further right.
Would he have saved it?
Hang on.
I don't know, because he didn't play, did he?
Easy, fellas. Easy. Right. I've got a still. There is the still. The ball has just been struck. Talk to me about what you're seeing here then, Mike, because from the still, the ball's on its way.
From the still,
look where it look. You've got to play that back. That's not been struck, has it?
Well, it's there.
That's what I'm saying is offside when the ball's been moved.
It looks like
look where he is. He's slightly all I'm saying is from what I see, the ball was hardly hit with any power. I felt that he could have been. I felt with the way the player was on the pitch, he could have been slightly more.
Can you rewind that a little bit?
I can. I'm not going to play it because I don't want to do any trimmings today, and I don't want EFL.
I'm just saying when he hits
No,
it.
all I'm saying, lads, it was the same last against Bolton. He wasn't set.
Kev Sherwood says, Mike. Kev Sherwood says, is he supposed to be Inspector Gadget?
Inspector Gadget.
Or mine.
Do you know what?
All I'm saying is he had. Well, there we are. The other day, it's all about opinions, and and that's the bottom line. My opinion is that I felt he was too far right. I think if he'd have been more central where he should have been, he might have got that. That's just my opinion. At the end of the day, if people don't agree, it's tough shit.
Can we have a poll in the chat?
I'll put one in a second. What
Can we have a poll on Selena then? Because quite frankly, what has he done this season? Then he done one worldly pass yesterday, and everybody's praising him like he's some sort of Messi. Let's get real here. No, let's get real.
Mike, aren't you a ray of sunshine today? Aren't you a ray of sunshine, Mike? Just a little ray of sunshine in a bed of roses. It's Sunday. We've won. Smile.
I am smiling.
Just tell your fucking face that.
No, all I'm saying is that we've got to keep some sort of reality here.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that at the end of the day, Selena, that pass yesterday was sublime. I said it on Twitter. I said it to Cruncher, messaged him, and I actually thought that was unbelievable. But Selena's not the only player done that. Aluko's done that as well. But I also said, Cruncher, didn't I? If Selena's gonna come into the team like this, he's got to get his head up more. He's got to look for them sort of passes. And if he is in a position where he's outside the box, he's got a clear shot on goal, bloody go for it.
I think that suited him more, like I said just before you come on. That role he had yesterday, sometimes when he's out wide, he don't get his head up, but he's got more of the pitch.
Can't hear nothing.
You can't hear. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful. Mike, you're having technical difficulties. No? Let me just kick him out of the studio and see if he comes back. Right. I put a poll in the chat. Is Mike right? Was Walton at fault? Yes or no? What are you looking for, Rich, from this clip as I'm looking at it? What was it you wanted to see?
Is his view impaired by? Is there any defenders in the way where he can't?
I think that's.
I thought it was a decent strike and it's in the corner.
Well, you've got KVY charging down the shot. It's not really impaired. He's seen it a long way. It's right in the corner. In fact, it's hit the actual corner of the goal.
Yeah, that's
the
what I thought.
Corner of the goal. It's an incredible goal from a player that was on, if I'm right, Man United's books as a youngster, Ethan Hamilton. If I'm right, I think it's the same fella. I thought it was incredible. I'll tell you somebody else who thought yesterday was incredible and didn't mind telling the world that. The King Kelly Bisler.
Here he is.
Matt took umbrage with your comments to Andy Holt. Callie, talk us through.
I just think if you're going to jump online and call people shithouses, people in glass houses and all that.
He hadn't said it before you were on the camera on the full-time show yesterday. No, you had your little tin pot rant there.
Oh no, at the full time, yeah. No, I just think because he at the time I'm saying to him that your club and your players are a disgrace. Like 15 minutes in, and you're holding your face. The whole Sam Morsey incident, you're all mad if you think it's anything. There's nothing there. Morsey's arm doesn't even raise up, right? Morsey's small. The guy's like 6 foot something.
Yeah.
Matt Stannard made a good point on Twitter, and he says, the camera angle and the height and everything. If you look at his arm, and he's spot on. And Morsey, the guy actually, if it was VAR and everything else, guess what would have happened? It'd have been a yellow card, and it would have been a free kick for Ipswich because the guy's blocked off Morsey.
Yeah. He's
put his arm out to block Morsey. Morsey's pushed his arm and it's connected with his shoulder. He ain't punched him. Trust me. If he'd been punched, because all of a sudden the man's rolling around, then he realised he ain't got it, and then bang, he jumps up.
I just thought it was incidental contact through playing the game of football.
Yeah. Even his comment, he goes, "Yeah, it was a shove or a punch." How do you not know the difference between a shove or a punch?
It's a jab.
Like, come on, like they're chatting shit, right? So they're a shit house of a team. They
Don't hold
I
back.
don't, I don't, I don't mind the shit housing to a point, but doing it 15 minutes in when the game's just starting. Let's have a game of football here, lads.
Hey, I've got a question for you, Callie.
You know what I mean?
About talking shit. Too many people on this platform talk shit about Sam Morsey that he wasn't a captain. He shouldn't be captain. Open your eyes, watch that game yesterday, and see how a leader should play. Getting away from what happened, we can all have our view about that. That was a proper captain's performance.
It was.
And in his own words, he's just getting going.
Ooh.
Right. So he does lead. I had a bit of a rant on Wednesday when I replied to those videos from Mike and Ben, and I was just saying, like exactly what you said, Richie is a captain. He leads by example.
Yeah.
For the first time in a long time, my bias aside, first time in a long time, our captain is one of our best players at the club. Like that's not been and that should be how a team is set up as well. But he leads as well. And you said it, Crunch, as well before. I think on Wednesday as well. Everywhere he's been captain, he's won titles.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So he knows how to lead these teams.
Yeah.
And I thought we played well yesterday. I thought we did. Tom Carroll, he's a bit of another like Lee Evans. Like some people hated him, some people rated him. I agree with what you're saying, Matt and Crunch, in terms of he was a bit rusty and he grew into it. And there were some nice, he showed his class because there was some nice passages of play, nice passing, nice little 1-2s. Like when we won the ball, when we turned them over an hour and a half and we were picking the ball up, we didn't lump it long. We played some nice little passes, found it out wide. We had a good couple of moves. But then the rustiness did show, and it's just like he wasn't playing to the whistle. And that pissed me off because Accrington are dropping every 3 minutes or whatever, and he's saying it's not a foul, which it wasn't, but the ball's still bouncing. Go get the ball. Do you know what I mean? So that kind of pissed me off. Kane was a good player. I don't think we need to worry too much about that left back. If I don't mind Penny as a deputy to Kane.
Look at the fisherman. Welcome to the click on TT.
I messaged Callie yesterday at 8:00 saying, "Can you tell Sam Morsey I love him?" Hadn't been drinking.
And what did he say?
I absolutely loved Sam Morsey. Yesterday, it was my shithouse. It was my character.
Yeah, he said he appreciated it, and like he loves the fans. Like the fans get behind the team, and it's like I know I complain about the atmosphere and everything as well, but especially the way they even yesterday, like when we needed to be, it was 2-1. Yeah, but there were then like towards the end, I'd say like maybe the last 10 minutes when everyone normally we're all biting our nails, there was a bit of sound coming out of the stands, so that was kind of encouraging as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll get there, but it was a good game. I'm happy.
It'd be a better atmosphere, Callie and Matt, when they knocked that fucking Cobbold stand down.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. The
stand is the issue, not the 4 sections other than section 5 in the North Stand, which just literally stand there and do fuck all.
No, behave. North Stand do their bit, but I do admit, like
one section in the North Stand does it.
Okay.
The bloke, where the drum is, they're always singing. Might be the same song for 90 minutes, but
that's all the blue action lads, isn't it? That's all the blue action lot. But like
the rest of you. But then again, with Lee Anderson in the North Stand, you can't really blame it, can you?
But this is the whole idea of the stand. So I know the stadium, just digressing slightly, like we're talking about the atmosphere. People have said it before, and I think you guys have said it yourselves. Like the way the stands behind the goals are. Yeah, it should just be one. You shouldn't have multiple tiers, just one tier. Everyone will get. You get a proper atmosphere then. At the moment, we can barely keep in sync what's going on to the next section to us. Never mind what's going on above us. It's like, come on, Ipswich. And then it's 2 seconds later, come on, Ipswich. It's like, fucking hell, we just like out of sync here.
True. The poll was
ended. It was to be like the Fratton Park stand behind one of the goals, wasn't it? It was the original idea, I believe Sheepshank said. They couldn't do it because of the road behind.
The road. I think it's the road where the North Stand is. What's the poll? What was the poll saying, Martin?
91% think Christian Walton was not at blame for the goal.
Oh,
we were in that stand behind the goal, like to the side, right? Yeah. And Walton's not to fault from there. I think he is unsighted a bit. I think he is unsighted, and I think it's a good finish. And it's a good finish. Like, let's not forget. And even if you say, okay, he's at fault for the goal. Okay, he's at fault for the goal. We'll say that. But he made that big save at the crucial time. Like, he doesn't make that save, that game's over for us. He makes the save, and that's it. And that wins us. That gets us the 3 points. He deserves, just as Selena got and Burns, and that will get the praises and everything. He deserves it as well.
What I would say is for the goal, Walton away, he's got too much time on the edge of our 18-yard box, full stop. Where is the tracking back in terms of our midfield? And that's a collective, not just on Morsey or Carroll. That's a collective. I mean, Burns is there, but he's marking space. Louis, who I thought was poor yesterday, but it's Burns. Louis Fenton, Morsey on the show in midfield. Danaski is the best one-on-one defender we have had for a long time. Walton's our best keeper since Bart. And Selina is a magician on the ball. And Aidy Croucher, I agree with you, Martin, is getting more like a football in the library at times.
Just on that Burns point, sorry, just quickly, what you're saying there about Burns in terms of he was a bit poor. I agree it wasn't the best attacking performance we've seen from Wesley Burns. And certainly in the second half, there was 2 big chances where he should just squared it across, right? And I was screaming, right? But I actually thought defensively, he was really, really good and solid. Like his interceptions, he read the play well. Like the amount of times he actually intercepted the ball and picked up the ball, and his tackling was on point. Like he was diving in and he's getting the free kick or the throw in or something like that, and he's breaking up plays. So I thought he did well. He did a proper wing back performance, if you like.
I agree. I actually watching it on TV, so I've got a different, view to you guys. And I watched you about the commentary as well, so I had the sound down, and just so I could make my own mind up on things. And I actually thought Burns was man of the match for us. I know he had those 2 big chances, like you say, Callie, and they ended up in the stand. But great run for the goal and the tracking back and the tackling. Yeah, I thought he did really well.
If you watch that goal, Callie, if you watch the goal that we scored on that counter-attack, look how far Wes Burns comes. He must have run 80 yards.
Yeah. And isn't that the same? And was that the same? No, it was on the other side. I was going to say, was it the same side that he did McGuinness? But he did McGuinness on the other side when it was Fleetwood last year.
It was the same side.
Because he only 1-2 with himself.
Yeah. It was the same one. Yeah, you're right.
Right.
So
Callie, you have to bring Lloyd in because Lloyd did me a huge favour yesterday. Thank you for popping on. Anything else before you go? You want to let the fans know?
Cheers, Callie.
Not about Andy Holt.
No, Tim Potney. Let's back the team, back the lads. Do you know what I mean? It'll be interesting what happens over the next couple of weeks.
Tuesday, or so. Are you going Tuesday?
He hates London.
No, I hate London.
Yeah,
I hate London.
Can't park.
Yesterday. You can't fucking park anywhere. I'll be Sheffield. Sheffield's only like an hour and a bit from me.
All right,
so
Callie, speak to you very
soon.
Just
back the lads, and you never know. Top 6 could be a thing. Let's carry on the form. Just back the team and sing your hearts out. All right. Oh, and like and subscribe.
Good work, Callie. Right.
That was just quickly going on that. That's a good point, actually. I know we're 8 points off. And we keep saying that's a big mountain. But if we only get 2 more points, if we see we're only 6 out of the playoffs, that suddenly changes context quite a bit, doesn't it?
It was annoying yesterday.
That small 2-point gap.
Oxford scored that late goal against Wednesday, didn't they? At 3-2. Otherwise, it would have been 6 points. But now, Matt, it's 5th and 6th. I think we can aim for.
Get the runs going, absolutely.
And I did say, I don't know where Colin's gone, if he's still in the chat. Colin was waxing lyrical about Plymouth earlier in the season. I did say on here, they will fall away and they won't make the playoffs.
Lost their manager, haven't they?
He's waiting to come on, but I don't think we're going to get him on for today's show because we're already at 58 minutes. And I want to put Lloyd on.
Thank you for the slipping.
There you go. Right, I want to finish with Town Talk, so let's just get our goats in. Right, Matt, you weren't here last week. New for this year, we are putting the goats to the chat to decide a weekly winner. Last week, Rich won the goat because your goat took it with the COVID annoyance in regards to Arsenal. We will come back to the town chat and Lloyd in just a second. But first of all, Matt, what is your goat?
Well, my goat is still Ipswich Town related.
In a minute or less.
Colchester. 11 players now that they've got in their squad that have come from Arsenal. I feel sorry for the fans. Can you imagine if we had actually cherry-picked 11 players from Norwich, 7 in the summer to come to Portland Road, and you've got to cheer them on because we are rivals with them, although I quite like Colchester. But yeah, Chambo, Skews, Judge Sears, Dobra, Kenlock, Hughes. Sounds like Trump's and that, doesn't it, when they used to say the 7 there. And of course, the other 4 are Gherkin, Smith, Big Frank, and Tom Eastman. And I don't know, it's just lazy recruitment. It hasn't worked for them because they're down near the bottom of League 2.
Don't forget Wayne Brown.
And in Wayne Brown, I mean, what other club would go to an Ishmael North team in Malden and Tiptree and say, come and manage this League 2 side for an interim period? I mean, what does that say to the Malden and Tiptree fans? So, you know, I just simply think
Is that the second time he's been interim manager, Matt?
Yeah, and they ruined Mayaka yesterday because I had Salford to win and they won 3-0. So and Mark Kenlock scoring.
He didn't make his £5, everyone, into 30 quid.
Daniel Hill.
Just wondering yesterday by Miles Kenlock.
Just wondering if Paul Lambert might fancy the Colchester job. Right.
I think it could happen.
Nah, it won't happen. I still think Lambert fancies himself a bit higher up the pyramid than little old bottom four. I think it's a great opportunity for a certain Cole Skuse and Luke Chambers double act to start cutting their teeth in management. I really do. Rich, what is your goat, please?
So yesterday, right, we had to we got to the 31st of January to spend your team card points in Planet Blue from the pack out Portman Road games, right? So I think we've all got, I think, Matt, we got about 20 odd quid.
Can I just say,
one part of my goat is
it looked like COVID Central in that Planet Blue. Fuck me.
It was. I went in after the game. It was absolute chaos.
It was. Minute or less. Go.
So one part of my goat is the Lincoln points have not been added, right? And
agreed.
I worked out probably about 7 quid. They know they've sold X amount of tickets already. They're probably not going to sell that many more.
Thanks to you.
So that should have been stuck on. You're going to get a random 7 quid probably in about a month's time, which. Right, and that spills over to you cannot actually fucking buy anything in that shop for probably less than 20 quid. Yes, Martin, I know you're right. I did buy this wonderful book.
Oh, yes.
Paul Mariner.
Oh, brilliant.
You know, but I've got 3 kids and they all had like 12 or 13 quid, Matt, on their team cards. Now, what can you get for 12 or 13 quid? I said to him, I'll bump it up to 20 quid. Archie got a pair of slippers, exactly the same as me. Elliot got a T-shirt and Ollie got a lovely away days copper cap, but that was 25 quid. 25 quid. And there's nothing in there that you can, it's way overpriced. And why should you have a time scale on when you should have to spend them points?
Agreed.
You shouldn't have to use them by the end of January. I'm sorry.
Is that my goat or your goat? Because it sounds a lot like I was moaning about only a couple of weeks ago. And you were telling me, calm down, you're always moaning. It's 3 points, blah blah blah.
I've got no points apparently on my team card according to the Planet.
You should have 22 pounds.
You should go to the games first, Matt. Let's just get you to the game before we worry about anything else.
And you still got 3 pairs of socks and a hot water bottle.
There you go. I mean, what else could you want than that? I mean, I call it the place of the second mortgage because you need a second mortgage just to buy. Probably those 3 pairs of socks and a hot water bottle.
I ended up spending about another 20 quid. And I know you said that to me at the end when I come out, Martin, that they've given you them points and you are going to have to spend more on top of it.
Yeah. That's what Colin said to me. He said, Colin said to me, have you used your points yet? I said, no. He goes, why? So I'm not going to. Because I know you'll go in that shop and you'll see something you want and it'll be £10 or £15 more than you've got. And that's £10 or £15 more than I would have spent because I wasn't going to go in there. So
you can spend it on tickets. You can spend it on tickets. But I think what they should do, you should be able to keep it. And then at the end of the season, maybe use it against your season ticket to get some money off.
I think Ashley's right here. I think he's right in that. Yeah.
But it's a here's something nice, but we don't want it to be too nice, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just a little bit like that. Yeah. Oh, it's a bit mean-spirited not to add Lincoln. That was through no fault, one's fault, was it? And they knew what the crowd before the World Cup on the day was going to be. So they could easily have taken a hit there. Yeah,
absolutely.
I agree. Yeah.
My go is going to be... I haven't really got a go, to be honest. I'm a happy-go-lucky person. You know me? I never moan about anything. Nothing at all. Nothing that I don't. Actually, my go is something that me and David were talking about. People will know David from Kings of Anglia. It's the battle lines that are drawn between podcasts, but particularly people that sort of are on the podcasts or talk about the podcast. Like this morning, I had a lemon tell me I'd never be as good as Kings of Anglia.
I see it last night on the post that you put out, and someone just randomly there's you chatting. There's Nicola Wall. I think Sarah Davis was on there, and then some random pops up. Just scroll by, you muppet.
Well, we're all one football team. Whether you watch them all, watch one, like us all, like none of us, blah, blah, blah. We're all one football team. And ultimately, and I have to be honest, I feel it when we're recording the show at Sir Ralph, when you've got the other shows recording theirs. It's almost like there's a battle line and it's we're us, you're them. When it's really, we're all towns.
I know what you're saying. And I do get that if you support a town, there is a lot of content, there's something I think for everybody, but personally, for me, and I'll speak for Matt as well. When we're doing this show, I want Az to be the best.
Well, of course you do. I get that, but like David yesterday walked over to have a chat, and it's like I wish wish more would do that in both direction, because
I've
we're
spoken to
one
him
football
before.
team.
Great guy, David Fisher. Brilliant.
We're
Hope he
one
comes on this
football team.
platform. I really
You
do.
know what I mean? So I want that more. Both directions. Us going over there to have a chat and them feeling like they come over here to have a chat, because we're one football team. We're one club. Whether you like the fan perspective, whether you like the inside stuff that Stuart Watson and co do, or whether you like some of the more I don't know what Blue Monday do. I have to be honest. I've not really watched it. I'll be honest. But whatever you do, we're Ipswich Town FC. Full stop. That's my go. When you get too tribal.
I was actually thinking that while you had the roaming camera and all that kind of thing. It's quite territorial, isn't it? We're over by Alf, they're over by the shop. And yeah. I mean, I've said to you lads before, I've always just viewed it as like Ipswich Town is like this. We're all just a channel on the TV that is Ipswich Town. You know, you don't just watch one channel, do you, when you switch the telly on?
Absolutely. And my story is quite well documented. I suffered an injury. I'm disabled. My world went that way. My friend's world went that way.
On at you. I see that particular person last night having a go at you, Martin.
Yeah, well, he's not the first time that particular person has brought up my disability. Well,
it's really brave of him.
Well, there you go.
You know, they know where we are on a match day. Come and have a word with me. Come and have a word with Matt. If you're that brave, you know, you have a go at Martin every time on social media.
Just what more of a back. But what I would say is, I love talking about Ipswich Town Football Club with people. This is why I do these shows. It's why I do it with so many different people, because I love discussing this football club. Full stop. And I can't do it down the pub or whatever anymore because of my situation. So I do it through here. We've
promoted Blue Monday stuff before and Kings of Anglia stuff before.
Yeah,
GB's Naked Feet. I know Ian Lofted on Drive. He loves that show. It's all good.
GB's my first sort of, I wouldn't say break because it's not a break, but he was the first person and only person to ever put me on a show out of everybody. He set me on the path. So I've always got a lot of time for GB.
A little seeds grows the oak tree. You know what I mean? But
absolutely.
There's something there for everybody. Look, we get a lot of flack, don't we? Because people say, this mythical pod wars. But, you know, look, it's just tongue in cheek. And, you know, there's been some issues there over Town fans getting bullied on Twitter. It still happens. It does make me laugh when people, like, you know, off the back of last week, Sunday, people go, the state of the ITFC timeline. Well, people have to look at themselves a little bit. It's not cake and tea, is it? But, you know, I feel it's kind of mythical, this Talking Town causes issues.
A lot of people get confused with what you two spoke about the reporting of Paul Lambert and how it wasn't perhaps as proactively against him being sacked, and take that as you're getting at ITFC content creators when you're not. You're getting at paid journalists about whether or not they're doing the right headlines. That's completely different to you having to go at Blue Monday or whatever. But here we go. Pause in the chat. Lloyd, back to Ipswich Town Football Club. You were chief cameraman yesterday. Matt wants to send you some money, I'm sure, because he really enjoyed the show.
Matt will never dip his hand in his pocket, Gov. You know.
No, the day he does that is the day we stop doing the shows. Just because we've all died of shock. Lloyd, how did you see yesterday's game?
Just really quickly, shout out to the women. They're 3-0 up already. Lucy got a goal. It's got scored a brace already.
But before you go any further, but that to me, that's back to what we were saying a second ago. We were one of the first channels to bring, Joe and the girls onto a platform to speak about it. Now you've got different shows doing different female content, which is brilliant. So in opening that door, Rich, would you say it's encouraged the rest to walk on through it?
Yeah, look, we had Tash on, we had Paige Peak. You know, when we first started, Joe's been on here 2 or 3 times. So look, the more the merrier that get on board with the women's team and give them the credit they deserve. And hopefully next season they'll be playing at Portman Road and we can all go down there and watch.
Absolutely. And Craig, I hope your wife is well, Craig at Portman, because I didn't see her yesterday. I saw you, but I didn't see her. So I hope she's okay. And thank you very much for popping on by. Lloyd, back to you.
But yeah, really quickly, Paige scored the first goal and Lucy's got is on a hat trick, so that's good. Back to the game. I thought we played really well. I thought we did really well. I thought the first 5 minutes were a bit, I don't know. I thought we were a bit under the cosh, and then I thought when we conceded the goal, I thought, oh fucking hell, here we go. But no, they responded really well. Responded very well. I think Morsey had a proper captain's display.
Yeah.
Are you concerned about possibly Lee Evans missing some game time? I mean, Tom Carroll stepped into the
Yes. No, I'm joking. I'm glad. No, I don't really care what Evans does as long as he's not playing too much, and someone else gets gets some time in the midfield. Then
What don't you like about him, then, Lloyd? This is the guy who scored a hat trick for us this season.
It's just too. It's too like Tamorzi. It's just like having the same person in the middle, and then just.
It's a better pass than Morsey, isn't he, in terms of being able to put the ball forward.
But I just want to see somebody else have a go in the middle. I thought
enough,
Tom Carroll did all right. I think at first, early on, he was a bit light. He got shrugged off by somebody way too easy. But he built himself into the game. And I thought, first half, okay, that was fucking shite from him. But second half, he built it into the game. And I thought, yeah, he's redeemed himself. He did quite well. And I thought Tyreek did very well. I think when he came on, he constantly putting his hand up, winning the ball, which is fair to the player. He's only been here for a few days, and he's already.
What I liked about Tyreek, Lloyd?
That turn.
His gloves.
Oh yeah,
gloves.
I saw the gloves. Shame it wasn't the Marcus Stewart gloves.
Yeah, old school. He's a tall lad, isn't he, Backinson?
Oh yeah. When he came on, I thought, fucking hell, he must be like 6 foot or something. I didn't think he was that tall.
Yeah.
But that turn he did as well, that was brilliant.
He was playing with a little bit of freedom too, I think, because he wasn't even on the bench to begin with, and suddenly Evans pulls up, Carroll goes into the team.
It's interesting. I listened to McKenna's interview on Suffolk, and they involved him in all the pre-match stuff just to get him involved.
Yeah.
So look, he wasn't going to play, and he's had 20 minutes, so it's 20 minutes more than he probably would have got. So it's good.
I think the gloves aspect. That's another another thing Planet Blue can obviously get behind and mark it and put in there.
Yeah. To be fair, I thought when I arrived to the stadium, it wasn't that cold, but after second half, I was bloody freezing.
Yeah, I noticed you chose the right time to not be around to do the camera work for the post game show.
It was bloody bitter.
It was. Yeah, it did cut through you. It really did. Lloyd, AFC Wimbledon. Before we go, would you make any changes?
No, I'd keep that as it is, but maybe rotate a little bit. Maybe put somebody else in. Just maybe 1 or 2 changes, but other than that, keep that shape and be a bit shithousey. But because last season we didn't even beat Wimbledon once, so I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm not sure. Win would be great. Draw would be. I don't want to say draw would be excellent, but point at the moment.
Need a win.
Are you over your team?
Need a win.
Choking last night in the divisional game?
I'm fine. I was up at 4 a.m. I'm fine now. I'm over it.
Imagine having 2 Hall of Fame quarterbacks and only winning 2 Super Bowls.
Fucking offense didn't redeem. Fucking defense left stranded out there.
Love it. And 80 says, great camera work, Lloyd. It really was. Lloyd, again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for your help yesterday. It really helped us out.
Right. Don't forget tripod, yeah?
I won't, I promise. Although Matt, I seem to think might take charge of the camera work from the future because he likes that grittiness. So perhaps he wants to take charge of how the production is put together.
I'm not sure about the camera angle if Matt's got it though.
No.
You're looking up my nostril.
That's well, you actually got to be there for that.
You don't come to pre-match shows.
Well, I didn't get it till 2:45. Don't talk to me about yesterday when I got there and I was.
Did he win? That's the most important thing.
Yeah, Archie, they beat Shelford and Stapleford 4-1, and they are into the semi-finals.
Look at that.
Good right, boys.
Really good.
We are obviously back tomorrow at 8:30. The team tomorrow is Mark Tuxford and George Nunn. That is a hell of a lineup.
Nunny is on this platform more than Matt Phillips.
Nunny he loves. Did your wife cook a nice meal last night, Gov? She did, Mr. Brown. It was incredibly beautiful. Thank you very much. She's cooking again tonight. Looking forward to it.
I've only eaten toast in the last 36
Dry
hours.
toast. Best thing to eat, Matt, when you're not feeling well.
It is. Right. Look at the league table as we depart the.
Are we doing crunching tackles and mogul stories?
Not at this time of the show. Not an hour and 13.
Come on.
You've only done an hour and 13. Have you not got a light? All right, hang on. League table then. Currently sitting in 9th on 38 points. I heard you earlier say we're playing for 5th and 6th. I mean, 4 days ago, Rich, you just said playoffs. Well, you would have had a go at Mike Brown for saying playoffs are on. Now you're saying we're playing for 2 positions. Well, is that the power of a win, or is that a giddiness on a Sunday?
Off the back of a win, we're all happy. I get that. The only way we're going to climb this league is winning 3 games this week or 3 games on the trot somewhere. You have to win Saturday, Tuesday, Saturday. 9 points makes a massive difference. I think we'll go to Wimbledon and win. I really do. I think we'll go down there. We've got nothing to fear. We should go down there. Obviously, hopefully, well, we will. We'll be wearing the black and white kit, won't we? So we normally perform when we're wearing that. And then we go to Wednesday, Saturday. I've got tickets. There's not many. If anyone wants to go to Wednesday on Saturday, there's not many tickets. I think 2,500 nearly sold out. So it's a big game. You know, they're all big games, but we need to start putting 3, 4, 5 wins together to climb the division, because we are a good side, but we have to be, what is the word, Matt? We have to be consistent.
Just put Mike's comment on there. If I was doing the filming, you'd only get Big Dave's kneecaps.
Yes, Mike Woods, Big Dave Kneecaps TV with Matt on the camera.
I liked Dave's little plug for tarantula needs.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been busy, he reckons, Phillips selling. People have actually wanted to buy tarantulas.
I see him being busy on Facebook. What was he actually eating? He had that certificate, didn't he, Martin?
Yes, the state challenge.
Oh,
I think it was.
Oh, God.
That makes me now having seen Afterlife 3 with the buffet guy, that makes me just howl. Absolutely howl. That was comedy. That was a bit of comedy. You know, the pizza, scrape the toppings off the bread. It's a decoy. I love that. That's great. But Colin says we'll win and make playoffs. Colin hopefully will be on tomorrow night's show. We're third in the form table, says Stephen Parry. This form table stuff, I'm not a fan of it. Like, it doesn't matter if the form table says your top, bottom, middle. It's the league table that's the most important thing. And right now, we're still not where we need to be. That said, Matt, 46 points, Oxford 27, 6 points out of the next 6. It could suddenly be bang on if things go our way.
We are, as Richard's always said, we are suffering from the start we had to the season, wasn't it? Which was what, 1 point from about the first 3 games.
Paul Cook syndrome.
But I do feel like that, you know, mindset, 8 points, you look and go, to me, that seems a lot. But if it was just 2 more points more, we were just 6 points behind, 2 games. For whatever reason, that seems a mountain that's much easier to climb. And we could perhaps have that by next weekend. You just don't know, do you?
We have to just concentrate on our own job. And I know as fans, it was Wes Burns, I was listening to his interview yesterday. As soon as they got in the dressing room, they're looking at the results to see if they've made ground on any teams. And but we've got to play all them teams, Matt. We've got to go to Oxford. We've got Plymouth. We've got Portsmouth. We're playing them all.
We can get in that form. Like, exactly. Then we're in a position of being the hunter rather than everyone else is the hunted. I would rather be the hunter with our squad. And
Paul Lambert said that, didn't he? Paul Lambert said that.
Yeah, but that's a good place to be right now.
Hunter.
Yeah, with our squad and the new thinking, the new culture, the new setups of formations and stuff. You know, it feels like that's the place to be when you're on momentum. Absolutely
agree with you. All right, if you can do it in a minute or less, all right, a minute or less. The 1 minute man. I've heard that. Go.
Made me chuckle there. Why? Remember the phrase "Why always me," which was a phrase I was thinking to myself when I sat on the toilet at 5 a.m. yesterday. But why always me? Mario Balotelli. He is coming back into the Italian fold. Now, I know they won the Euros obviously and beat us, and it was all heartbreaking for everyone. But I do like the Italian football team. But they are struggling. They are struggling to qualify for Qatar World Cup. They're going to have to go through the playoffs. They've got to play North Macedonia. And if they see off them, Portugal, Turkey. So it's really difficult task to go through for and they didn't qualify for the last World Cup either, you remember. So Mancini has decided to turn to Balotelli, who is playing in Turkey at the moment for Adana Demirspor, who are fourth in their table. He scored 7 goals from 18, and they feel like he might be the guy that can fire them to the World Cup. So look out for that, because they've Chiesa's done his ACL, Immobile, Belotti, Samaka, Raspadori, not doing it. So Balotelli's back in the fold.
There you go. Wow, Balotelli back in the fold in Italy. Not quite sure about that myself, but
and Galatasaray, obviously Burke's big love, other than Ipswich Town, struggling near the bottom of the table. They're 15th. Imagine that.
What is going on? Do you know anything about that story? What's going on there?
I don't know what's happened there. When we get Burke on next, we'll ask him. But yeah, they are struggling big time. They're well off the pace for Europe. They won't be in Europe this year.
No. Rich, slide in the DM. A minute or less. Let's go.
So before Christmas, we had one of my crunching tackles was Duncan Ferguson. Do you remember when
Yeah.
The schoolboy. He said basically he wasn't doing it at school. You gotta, all right, I'll come and knock on your door. Right. So fast forward to this week, I'm having a look on Twitter, and a video pops up of Big Dunk. He's received a letter from a guy called Dan Theobald, who was suffering from cancer. So Martin's got the link. Hopefully he's going to pop it up. You've not got it?
I will have. Give me a second. Yeah.
It doesn't really work without. It doesn't really work without this. So he's wrote him a letter, and then Duncan's done. He's done a video, and it's a great video. Duncan Ferguson, massive fan of his. I think he should be given the Everton job full time. I really do.
Yeah. Do you really?
Yeah, I think he deserves a chance. I wouldn't argue with him, would you?
No. Do you remember when he was managing them at Old Trafford and it was pissing down in rain? He just had his shirt on, didn't he?
Right, the minute's up.
I will have it in a minute. I promise. Yeah. I'm right here. I'm just trying.
The funny thing is that he calls everyone son. So this guy's tweeted and he says, "My wife thinks that Duncan thinks you're 12 and I'm actually 45."
I don't have it. It's not. It's not synced.
Retweet it on your socials if
it's not synced across on my WhatsApp.
Send it to you on Thursday. You've had 3 days to line it up, and then we come to it, and it's like a wet
The issue is we do chat so much shit in that WhatsApp group.
I sent it to you on your private WhatsApp, actually.
Yeah, but I tell you, my phone and my desktop haven't synced. I keep telling you this.
It's a great vid. He basically, like Rich says, he basically thinks the guy who's written in is a young kid, but he's actually, like Rich says, about 45.
He says, "Is there any money in this letter?" And he's like shaking it. And then he says, "I struggle to see it without my glasses." He's just having a laugh. But I love Big Dunk. I think he's a really good guy, and I think he'll get a management job soon somewhere.
He seems
not Everton, because it probably will be Rooney. I would have thought.
He seems a really decent fella, which goes against what we thought of him as a player, I suppose. You know, he was a shithouse.
He was a big shithouse.
You know, but he was Everton shithouse, and he sort of belongs, if you like.
Is he the only player that's ever gone to prison for a GBH case on the pitch?
Against Rafe Rovers, I think it was when he nutted that guy by the corner flag.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. Did he actually did he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
When was this?
Playing from in his Rangers times before he come down to Everton, wasn't it, Rich? Yeah.
But if you're a cellmate and your bars open up and Big Dunk comes in to be your cellmate, I'm telling you, you would be doing everything for him, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Do you want to
You'd do as you're told, wouldn't you? You really would. I'm just trying to buy time while I find it on Twitter, but I can't even find it on Twitter. So Rich will retweet it. There we go. That was a great counter tackle. Sorry, Rich. Job done. Right, we are back tomorrow, 8:30 with Tux and Nunny. We'll look at some sofa score, heat maps. We'll look at some stats. I know Matt's all over that. He loves that. He messaged me saying, "Love it."
There you go. It's on my timeline. I've just tweeted.
It's on the timeline.
There you go. It's on the timeline. Check it out. And of course, we're back on Tuesday for the AFC Wimbledon game. Anything else before we go? Anything that's pressing, needs addressing? I won my GOAT won this week with 48% of the vote share.
What needs pressing is everybody. Don't forget. What is it on Tuesday? My birthday.
It's actually EJ Norris's birthday on Tuesday.
Yeah, and he is 2 years older than me.
Is he really?
And Heidi Oldfield's birthday is on Thursday. I think she said in Friday's show.
Correct. So. But I don't have a show on Thursday.
And cheers for the slippers, Matt Stannard, and cheers for the wine, Colin.
I got a cookie from Stannard.
Colin phoned me up to clarify what that wine was you like, the 19 Crimes.
There you go.
Stannard,
don't forget the sausage rolls on Tuesday night at the... Is it the Cherry Records Stadium or something? Is that what it's called? Yeah. It's Plough Lane, isn't it, really?
I've got no idea. Got zero idea. Right, we're back tomorrow with love, with care. Until then, do not forget, go contact us on Ipswich Bus Routes.
Like, subscribe, retweet.
Become a YouTube member, $4.99, 32p a show. Matt, tell me.
$8.99 if you want to be an ultra, and I'm still not sure what I get for an extra £4.
It'll become clear in time, my good friend. Matt, $4.99. Magazine subscriptions. I know you're old school, you like magazines. Can you get a decent one for $4.99 these days?
Budgie Weekly or Budgie Monthly?
Yeah, you're pushing it. You'd be pushing it for that. I subscribe to Wrigley, which is $7.99. You get with magazines.
How much is 442? How much is 442, Matt? Now from
I get it within that Wrigley, but yeah, you're talking at least a $5, I would say.
Yeah.
See, bargain. Become a YouTube member or a Ko-Fi Fifth Stand TT Ultra. Until then, with love, with care, the Cruncher, Stir in the Pot.
Great
There's
show.
The Media Mogul, Lemon Squasher.
We're on a journey. Looking back on the things that we've taken for granted, but feels like we're learning to be better without what's been holding us back now.